What is up, tube users? I'm the stereotypical gamer, and welcome back to another episode of Z2A. Today, we are taking a look at the most realistic shooter I have ever played, and that is Squad. This game is kind of an outlier for me because normally I don't like the realistic military simulation games, but this game, I don't know, if the immersion of it just really gets to me and I can really get immersed in the game itself, and I really enjoy that, and I don't really get that from any other like military sim games or really just any kind of first person shooters. Really, I don't get as immersed into the gameplay as I do with this game. And there's a couple things that do that. I think one of the big things is the HUD of this game is just so clean. It's just beautiful. I mean, you have all the things you need on the HUD, but it's just a very open, and you just have room just to kind of look around and explore, and not just filled with all this clutter of different information. You have all the information that's relative to you on the screen, but it's very small, but not too small that you can't read what you need to. So I really enjoy that, and that just helps with the immersion overall in this game. And then the sound design is just absolutely phenomenal, from the bullets just kind of whizzing by you from long ranges to just kind of explosions in combat. It's all really immersive, and then you get into like heavy combat situations where you're being suppressed, and like the suppressive kind of feel of the game is really well done. Like just kind of the visuals that you get, the fatigue that your character gets as you're being suppressed, and then the overall sound design with that just really immerses you into the game itself. And I love the overall teamwork style of the game. There's obviously a whole lot of communication going on throughout the game, and just kind of being a part of that squad and communicating with people is really fun. But just, I love also the chain of commands, because usually in the game you're paired with, I think it's 4 or 5 squads of 9 people, and there's a overall like general or commander that oversees the leaders of each squad, and so you kind of get orders passed down to you through chain of command, and just kind of following that really immerses you into the milsim of this game. And it's just kind of a strange thing, because of that immersion, you kind of don't realize the longevity of just boring down times that you have of just running to different places and just no combat at all, because then once you kind of get an idea of enemies and once you get close, it really just kind of picks up and amps up really fast. So it feels slow at times, but then once you get to those heavy combat situations, everything just feels so slow in that time, even though it's going by much quicker than the downtimes in this game. And even though there is respawning in this game, the overall penalty for it and the slowness of getting back to where you were kind of makes you want to play your one life. And I really enjoy that about this game, and makes you just not want to like rush in like Call of Duty and actually kind of play to certain locations and just try and pick off enemies that way. And I think it's really fun to just kind of watch how the battle plays out from the minimap itself, seeing where enemies are being scouted out, where our allies are pushing into, and seeing the battle just kind of unfold from overhead. And it's just kind of interesting to see that. It almost makes it feel like a real-time strategy game watching it that way. And then I also really enjoyed the gunplay in this game and the kind of scope mechanics. I think the scoping while prone is a little bit wonky, and I didn't really enjoy that part, but overall the gunplay, the sound design of the guns, just firing weapons and stuff like that is really well done, and it just really immerses you in the game with the feel of how weapons feel in the game. And I love the different variety of guns and different classes in this game, kind of makes it unique. I think for the most part here I played the gunner class, which is like your basic infantry, just because I haven't played this game in a little bit and I wanted to just kind of get my feet wet trying to remember how this game plays. And for the most part it is very slow paced. You know, most matches are like 45 to an hour long, and I would say like half that time is just kind of running 2 different objectives and not really getting into combat. But those times of combat, even though they may last just 5 minutes, it does feel like it lasts an eternity, and it really immerses you into the game just because of all of the different sounds and different things going on your screen. It's just really well done. Another thing I really enjoy about this game, and why I enjoy it more than other military sim games, is the tutorial for this game is really well done, because there's a lot of different things going on, and there's a lot of things that you need to do as a team in order to win. The tutorial really does give you a really good idea of how things are supposed to play out and stuff, and just how things work in general, because there's a lot of different vehicles too that are kind of difficult to use, and for the most part you don't want to destroy vehicles because they do not respawn, so you want to make sure you know how to fly a helicopter before trying to fly it. But this game isn't perfect, so let's go over some of the bad aspects of this game. One thing that kind of loses my immersion in this game is the overall lighting. Like, I've tried to tune down the brightness in this game, but just kind of overall the lighting of shadows and stuff just kind of ruins my immersion, because it's not really dark at all. Inside buildings isn't dark, even though there's no like lights overhead, so everything is just super well lit up, which is nice. Like, I like to be able to see things, but I also want to be able to take cover in shadows if I need to. Another thing that just kind of felt wonky was aiming down sights while prone. You can't move, or you'll unaim down sights if you move while prone, and it won't re-aim down your sights. I don't know, it just kind of felt weird overall, just aiming while prone and trying to move around just slightly to just peek a corner just slightly more. It just felt weird. I don't really know how to explain it that well, but it just kind of felt wonky to me. Another thing that I wouldn't personally call a downside, just because I love the gameplay of this game, but just from people coming from other games like Call of Duty or BattleBit, especially BattleBit, because this game plays a lot like BattleBit with the spawn points and different things like that. It is very slow paced, and I enjoy that slow pace of things, but like, for an average game, you're going to be maybe 25% in combat and 75% just kind of out of combat, moving to different positions. So it does really feel slow paced in that hour, but getting into those combat situations, you really get immersed into it, and it really does feel like time slows down. So I really enjoy it, but I can see how a lot of people wouldn't enjoy it as much. And finally, my biggest issue with this game is friendly fire and how it's handled. Basically, every server that you get into, one of the biggest rules is friendly fire isn't allowed. Friendly fire is obviously turned on all the time because it's a realistic game, and obviously friendly fire can happen in situations, but overall it's something that's not allowed. You're not supposed to intentionally shoot your teammates, and if you do accidentally, you have to say sorry in team chat or whatever, just so they know that you didn't mean to do that. And if it's an accident, you won't get banned, but obviously if you do it and you don't say sorry, you can't get banned from servers like that. And you can tell just by uniform if they are an enemy or not, and you'll get like their name to kind of, sometimes it's kind of wonky, but you'll see like a name pop up if it's an ally. But it was hard to tell, and especially starting out, if you don't know what enemy you're fighting or like what their uniforms are, it can be difficult to know if you're looking at an enemy or not. And I found, for the most part, there was some times where I didn't know, and I didn't want to shoot, I didn't want to friendly fire by accident, and it turns out it wasn't an enemy, and I just ended up dying. So a lot of that gets really annoying, and it's one of the big reasons I don't play more of this game. And even like games like this where we get absolutely steamrolled, I really did enjoy myself because of the immersion that this game offers overall. But I really do wish that they did something about friendly fire. Maybe there are like community servers where friendly fire is turned off. I'll have to look through that. There's a ton of community servers for this game, so I'll have to browse through and see if there's something about that. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like if you did, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.